With a bruising year behind the aid sector, the United Nations top humanitarian voice is calling for a response from world leaders. UN Aid Chief Tom Fletcher wants the world body to push back against what he called a sustained attack on its values and funding at next week's UN General Assembly in New York. According to UN data, aid worker deaths rose nearly a third to almost 400 last year, the highest number since the records began in 1997. Then in January, US President Donald Trump returned to office and cut US foreign aid, sparking chaos for humanitarian projects. The Trump administration says it made cuts, as spending aid often didn't align with its America First policy. Trump also believes the US pays too much and wants other countries to contribute more. Fletcher said humanitarian groups can't wait for the US to restore aid funding.
Look, we reckon the support is out there. I don't think there is less support for kindness, compassion, global solidarity than there was just because of the results of a few elections. Now, I hope that governments will step up and fill this space, but I hope we can also build this wider movement of citizens that will back that work. I was in Washington at the weekend and had good conversations about potential areas of engagement, cooperation, partnership. So I'm not giving up at all on a good proportion of that funding coming back. But those are obviously decisions for the US administration. But in the meantime, we can't wait.
David Miliband, head of the International Rescue Committee, also spoke to Reuters ahead of the UN gathering. He said Europe would step up to fill some of the gaps from US cuts. Still, he said European countries can't fill the gap alone, and millions are already suffering.
More than 2 million IRC clients have lost services. Boys and girls in Afghanistan are not getting education today because of US aid cuts. Refugees from Sudan into South Sudan are not getting health services because of US aid cuts. So we know the price of this. Equally, we know that the US remains the largest aid donor in Sudan, and they continue to support us with life-saving services. So our message is very clear. Aid has impact, aid needs reform, aid needs the US.
Miliband said that this year's General Assembly could redefine global leadership.
I think that this is a UN General Assembly that is more important, not less important, because you have a China saying, we're the future of the multilateral system. You have a US saying, we're putting America first. There's a void to be filled here. And I think that while for Americans, the UN can seem like bureaucracy or traffic jams in New York, for the rest of the world, they're looking for leadership, and that's what we're calling for next week.
The UN General Assembly kicks off on Tuesday in New York and runs through the following Monday.